All right. Well, hi, hello, and welcome to Protect Your Data Quickly and Affordably with No Hassle. Oh man, who doesn't love the sound of that? No hassle. I'm in. Now, today's exciting webinar is sponsored by Hewlett-Packard Enterprise and Veeam and produced by Actual Tech Media. My name is Jess Steinbuck. I'm with Actual Tech Media, and I am very happy that I get to be your moderator for this conversation today because I think this balance between effective and affordable solutions is always a bit of a tricky one to find. And for a lot of us, maybe as we started this new year, we were taking some time to look ahead and planning out those data protection strategies, building out our IT environments. And possibly you started with a little bit of a list, like when you're buying a home, or I just went through this where I was buying a car, and you kind of have to have all this, the must-haves and the can't stands, right? So you make that pros and cons list. And I'm guessing that for a lot of you, if you were building out your must-have list for your data protection platform, you'd be thinking about things like speed, simplicity, you'd be thinking about efficacy, certainly, and definitely affordability. And that is a good list. That's a strong list of must-haves. And today, we get to hear from top experts at Veeam and HPE who are going to walk us through a few ideas, some solutions, and ways that we can start to check off everything on that hit list and help ensure that you have the solution that you need to protect your organization's critical data, which is so exciting. So happy to get into this. We've got a lot to cover, so we're going to zip through a few housekeeping things and get this show on the road. All right, first up, I want to draw your attention over to the questions section of your webinar console. Now, this is the absolute best place to get involved, to get interactive, and especially to post those very insightful, thoughtful, wonderful, thought-provoking questions that I know you all have. We want to hear your comments. We want your feedback. We want your ideas. So get involved. In fact, you can give it a little test run right now, and you can say hi, hello to the community out there with us. Tell us about your day. Hopefully you're not having, if you all had yesterday off, I hope that your Tuesday isn't feeling too Monday-y today. I hope you're having a good Tuesday sort of Monday in this short week. But let us know how your day is going. We want to hear from you. Our speakers are going to be trying to kind of field some of these questions as we go through our presentation, but we've allotted quite a bit of time for Q&A at the end, and we really want to have a fun and interactive conversation with all of you. So get those questions in as we're going through our presentation, because our awesome speakers are going to stick around for quite a while and make sure that we can get all of the answers that you are looking for, which is so important in these sorts of conversations, right? When you're choosing that right platform for you. Now, a quick side note, that questions window is also where you can reach out to the Actual Tech Media team if you are having any technical issues during the session today. As always, knock on wood, hopefully this doesn't come up. But again, since it is kind of a Monday, and those gremlins do seem to be a little bit stronger on the Mondays, if something is coming up today, try a browser refresh. A browser refresh is going to clear out most of the usual problems. But if that doesn't work, shoot us a message in that questions tab, and the Actual Tech Media team will be there to help you out. All right, the other thing I want to point out before we move on from this little guided tour we're taking together today is your handouts tab. If you have not already spent some time exploring the handouts tab, it is absolutely chock full of cool resources and takeaways, things that you are going to want in order to follow up on our session today. There's lots to cover and there's lots more to dig into, so be sure you're clicking on those resources, open those tabs, save those for later, because you're going to want to come back to them once we've wrapped up our chat. Now, it is not just cool content we are giving away today. We also have a $250 Amazon gift card as a prize drawing at the end of our webinar. So you do need to be here in live attendance at the webinar in order to win, and all winners must meet the Actual Tech Media prize terms and conditions. Again, we will take care of that at the end of the webinar. Brandon says today is Tuesday. I know. It's Tuesday, but it's Monday. It's the weird short week, Brandon. It's throwing me off. All right. Well, speaking of throwing off, how about a little good news for everyone that's feeling like today is a Monday? Let's do a little additional prize giveaway. So we are going to have a $50 Amazon gift card that we will give away to the best question asked in our session. So get those questions in because, hey, you get gold stars and high fives from me, and who doesn't want that? But also, you are entered to win this $50 best question gift card. We will be reviewing all of the questions asked after we wrap, and we will follow up with that best question winner. So stay tuned for that. Okay, my friends, well, I have kept you waiting long enough, and it is time to get into our session. And as I said, it is going to be a great one today. We have lots of cool info in store. I am so excited to introduce you all to Parisa Mohammadi, Product Manager for Virtualization, Containers, and Data Management Solutions at HPE, as well as Chris Donahoe, Senior Solutions Architect, HPE at Veeam. So an absolute dynamic duo. I cannot wait to get into this. Parisa and Chris, I know we've got a lot in store. We've got lots of info and Q&A ahead. So I am going to hand things on over to you. Parisa, I think you're going to take us away. Here you are. The platform is all yours.
Thank you, Jess. So today, I'd like to start off with sharing with you some market trends and drivers, as well as some of the challenges that you might be facing in your data center today, as we see that the threats of cyber attacks are increasing and that there are more malicious users out there that could impact your business. Veeam has published a report in 2023 called the Global Report in Ransomware Trends, where the link is at the bottom of the slide. And there were very interesting findings there, namely that 85% of organizations are hit by a ransomware attack in 2023. 45% of production data was affected by cyber attack. And then 93% of the ransomware attacks targeted backup. So you can see clearly that the backups may not even be protected. You may think that you have backed up, but they are actually the target of this ransomware attack. So in the next slide, let's think about what are some of the challenges that we might be seeing in your environment. First of all, we know that as data grows, there will be more infrastructure, servers, storage, networking added to the data center, and that by itself will grow the complexity of the data center. Then we see that more and more workloads are being deployed in a hybrid cloud environment. There are a lot of benefits in those types of deployments. And with that comes, again, more factors to include in your data protection strategy. Then we know that just managing the different components in the environment, the different tunings, the different options will be very time consuming. They are very manual, not automatic. So you need a very experienced IT staff. It really drains your resources and makes you focused on areas where your employees or your staff could have been working on more productive projects. And then finally, and that is the most important, is that cyber threats continue to attack and be there. And that, as a result, is in itself very concerning. So I'll hand it off to Chris to give us an introduction to how HPE solutions with Veeam can address these challenges.
Yeah, thanks, Parissa. So, Veeam's solution to protecting these environments is the Veeam Data Platform. The Veeam Data Platform offers a comprehensive set of backup, monitoring, and orchestration functionalities to simplify data protection, knowledge management in your environment, and business continuity. Organizations can efficiently and securely back up their data across a variety of environments, including virtual, physical, and cloud based infrastructures. The platform also enables proactive monitoring of data infrastructure, providing real time visibility into system health, performance, security, and resource utilization. Alerts and notifications can also be set up automatically to respond to any anomalies or critical events, ensuring continuous data protection. And finally, the orchestration capabilities in Veeam Data Platform allow organizations to create, automate, document test recovery plans. Uh, it also supports the orchestrated migration of workloads between different infrastructure environments. The different subscription options for Veeam Data Platform are summarized here. That you can see the Veeam backup replication, monitoring, and recovery orchestration solutions offered at each subscription level. Veeam Backup and Replication is the data protection and disaster recovery solution that helps businesses secure and replicate their virtual, physical, and cloud based workloads, as I mentioned. Veeam One is the monitoring piece that you get monitoring, reporting, capacity planning tools that provides a comprehensive visibility and analysis of the entire IT environment for proactive management and optimization. And Veeam Recovery Orchestrator enables automated and orchestrated recovery of virtual and physical machines, ensuring minimal downtime and streamlined disaster recovery processes. In addition to these three subscriptions, when you do subscribe to the premium edition, we add our ransomware warranty if a customer is interested in that. Veeam's ransomware warranty guarantees that in the event of a ransomware attack, the customer's backup data is recoverable, that it's free from malware. So it provides a added peace of mind for businesses. As far as what we deliver in Veeam Data Platform, we talk about data security, data recovery, and data freedom to to form this framework for organizations to protect, restore, and utilize their data assets. Data security ensures that data remains safe and available by employing advanced encryption, multi factor authentication, and other access controls. This safeguards against unauthorized access, cyber threats, and data breaches. Data recovery focuses on the ability to quickly restore data in the event of a disaster. Through efficient backup and replication solutions, organizations can minimize downtime and ensure business continuity. And data freedom represents the ability to utilize and access data across different platforms, environments, and locations. Veeam's comprehensive data management platform ensures seamless data mobility, enabling organizations to move data between on-premises, cloud, and hybrid environments. And we'll see a lot of this on the following slides, where we'll come back to these three pillars of delivery in the Veeam Data Platform. But Veeam hasn't been doing this alone. We have many alliance partners, but HPE is Veeam's oldest and most integration-rich partner. And Parisa, would you like to go into some detail about how we've been doing business together for goodness, the last 13 years?
Yes, definitely. So, as you can see, our partnership has been building over more than a decade. We, of course, started out with doing solutions together using our HPE Store Ones backup appliance. But throughout the years, and I won't go into a lot of details for each one of them, you will see that we not only did innovations and integrations around our backup repositories, such as the store HPE Store Ones, HPE Cloud Bank Storage, but also being able to do integrations with our primary storage snapshots. And our latest have been on the Alletra, HPE Alletra 9000 and 6000, as well as the HPE Alletra 5000 as a backup target. We have recently also validated the HPE GreenLake for file storage, particularly for NFS protocols as a Veeam repository. So all in all, you see that all these joint integrations and solutions enable us to fine tune the solution for the best performance possible to our customers, and that's why later on we will share how backup and restore performance can be increased, how we can lower the total cost of ownership for our customers. And that basically explains why. And go to the next slide. Um, you know, we talked about all these joint efforts, joint engineering efforts, but what does that translate to? It automatically translates to customer value and customer benefit. So IDC actually published a report, the business value snapshot, and here are the numbers that they shared. And they talked to many HPE and Veeam customers, and what they found out is that these customers on the average have 2.79 million higher revenue per organization per year. They have 317% 3-year ROI, 43% lower 3-year cost of operations. And these are all, from a business perspective. But if you really look down into their data protection, they found out that these organizations have 36% shorter backup windows and 71% faster to resolve data loss. So the numbers really speak to themselves, and we can talk about the great work that we're doing between the two companies, engineering work, integration, and all of that. But ultimately, what really matters is what value are we bringing to our customers. So now we can talk a little bit more about the HPE solutions with Veeam and the portfolio where Veeam integrates with.
Yeah, so just to summarize the deliverables that HP has with the Veeam Data Platform, and you can really see. I said we'd come back to this idea of data security, data recovery, and data freedom again. You can see it on this slide where we talk about uh, the reduce risk with comprehensive data security. That we allow you to get customers to get secure backup and make sure that they can recover that data. We have talk about data recovery, that you can meet SLAs to be able, not just to back up your data within a certain time frame, but also to recover your data in a speedily fashion. And then data freedom is seen there in a hybrid cloud protection that HPE and Veeam together, we allow you to back up data no matter where it lives, and really to restore it where you need it. And again, this won't be the last slide that I come back to these three pillars of delivery with HPE and Veeam Data Platform of data security, data recovery, and data freedom. And this all starts with a well-designed backup infrastructure. And Veeam encourages our customers to follow an industry standard 3-2-1 architecture. That's, as a reminder, that's 3 copies of your data, 2 of those copies being on different media types, and one of those copies being offsite at a different data center or maybe a cloud location. Veeam adds a couple of numbers to this requirement by encouraging customers to have at least one of those copies immutable, preferably more, and utilizing our sure backup testing to ensure that those workloads are fully recoverable. This 32110 architecture can be designed entirely on HP hardware. In fact, customers can achieve immutable copies of their data at every layer of the 321 architecture. So you can have immutable copies on HP primary storage, immutable backups and backup copies on HP storage servers, the store once, S3 on-prem offerings from HPE, and then you can also achieve immutable backups to HP GreenLake for file storage. And finally, long-lived tape, which has enjoyed a resurgence in popularity in this new cyber threat age. So, Parissa, we're going to transition now, though, to talk specifically about the HPE Alletra 4000 storage servers and how those fit into the environment.
Yes, definitely. The Alletra Storage Server 4000 is a fabulous platform for Veeam backup targets. But Before I go into a little details about that, I do want to set the stage of what the Alletra Storage Server 4000 is. What are the three pillars that makes it so attractive for these types of use cases? First of all, the family, the Alletra Storage Server 4000 family can support data-driven applications in a very secure and economic manner. And if you start out with the first pillar, it is purpose built for data storage intensive workloads. So that by itself adds a lot of value. But more important is that, as we know, the data security threats are ever increasing. There are bad actors that continue to deploy more sophisticated attacks on the infrastructure. And so our customers need a data solution that is secure end to end by design to protect their valuable data. And then finally, the third pillar is being able to manage this infrastructure in an efficient and effective manner. And that's very critical to the total cost of computing. And then, of course, the ability to address the shortage of experienced IT staff and a tool to manage the IT sustainability. So let's explore the three different models that we have. There is the 4110 that is performance focused with performance all NVMEs. The 4120 is balanced focus with accelerated and flexible hybrid NVMEs. And then the 4140 is capacity focused with bulk capacity hybrid NVMe. And if we look at the how it actually helps with Veeam as a backup target, we do see that the benefits are plenty. In fact, as we speak, we are testing and optimizing and tuning the environment for the fastest backup restore that we can achieve. And I'll share some numbers there as well with you. But uh, apart from speeding up the backup and restore performance, what's important is that we are lowering the infrastructure cost because we are consolidating the compute and the backup storage in existing hardware. We're also simplifying the operations, and that is really important. As if you remember back to one of the challenges that our customers are facing is the complexity of the environment, the fact that things have to be manual and step by step. But here we're simplifying the operations by running all the Veeam roles on one chassis. So that means consolidating the Veeam server and the Microsoft SQL Server database, the Veeam proxy and backup repository, and the Veeam tape server all in one chassis. And then the benefit of data reduction is what makes it even more valuable. Veeam's built-in compression and deduplication helps out a lot, as well as Veeam's virtual synthetic full based on the REFS XFS block cloning. And customers always have the option of installing the HPE Store Once VSA if they want further data reduction. Note that from what we have seen, 70% of our the HPE Veeam customers save their backups or server-based storage. So as you can see, it's this platform, this type of platform is very popular with our customer base. And then I promised you that I'm going to be sharing with you some performance numbers. And this is the latest that we have seen with the Alletra 4120 and the Veeam 12.1 immutable Linux repository. We are currently testing the Alletra 4140 as well, and we expect it to be much higher than this. But you can see that the 4120 delivers exemplary performance of 18 VMs. It's 10 gigabits per second. You see the configuration here as far as the CPU and memory. What we are trying to do is to make it easier for our customers to pick the right configuration for their environment. So we are coming up with a small, medium, and large configurations. You can call it t-shirt sizing in the form of a reference architecture and with some known performance numbers so they can enjoy predictable performance for their backups and restores. So now I'm going to hand it over again to Chris to talk about other backup data movement solutions with Veeam.
Yeah. So before we move off this slide, just want to talk about that 10 gigabytes a second. This is performance that we used to see on HP's largest server storage server model, and we're seeing that on what we're referring to as the medium configuration now on the Alletra 4000 storage servers. So. We haven't completed the testing, as Parisa said, on the Alletra 4140 model. I am very interested in seeing that performance because this 10 gigabytes a second for backup is already outstanding performance, and it just promises to get better on that largest model. And the largest model, as far as a building block in the customer environment, that can come in at or above a petabyte of storage. So that's really, really powerful for enterprise customers who are looking at those large building blocks for a backup infrastructure. Now, just to give customers choices on how they use HPE hardware and Veeam together in their environments, I gave an illustration earlier of how you could accomplish this 3-2-1 architecture all with HP hardware. And you certainly can do that. If a customer has multiple data centers, or maybe a data center and their own colo environment where they have their own HP equipment hosted at a colo center, you can definitely put your own 3-2-1 architecture together entirely with HP hardware and keep it on premises entirely under your control, which is again a powerful message for a lot of enterprise customers who don't necessarily want to send that data off site. But just to give customers choices, we do see a lot of customers taking advantage of Veeam functionality to move that copies of their backup data offsite. While these new HP Alletra 4000 servers are great for on-prem storage for data protection, many of our customers do utilize cloud storage for that offsite copy that we talked about earlier. Also, as I stated earlier, customers can take advantage of immutable backups and backup copies here as well. And in fact, with Veeam's Scale Out Backup Repository, customers can enjoy policy based data movement to immutable repositories in the cloud. So uh, I'm just going to guess a lot of people are familiar with our Scale Out Backup Repository, but if you're not, it's a policy based data movement. So for all of this data here on premises with on HP storage servers, um, a customer could set an age, for example, of the backup chain. So you could set your restore point age at 30 days, and on the 31st day, it would just seamlessly move that data to a cloud repository. And again, these could be immutable options at every layer of your backup infrastructure. The final couple of features that I wanted to talk about to wrap up today are features with Data Labs and our Restore Anywhere feature. Sure Backup, which is a feature built on Veeam Data Labs, uh, ensures the integrity of backup files by automatically verifying their recoverability and validity. It creates a isolated environment for testing backups, allowing organizations to run regular checks on their backups to validate that they are free from any malware or ransomware infection. So, to just show an illustration of how this works, I've illustrated this, you know, powering up out of the storage snapshots on HP primary storage, but we can also power on these VMs from backups to uh, from the HP Alletra 4000 storage servers. So it powers up these VMs into an isolated environment and conducts an automatic recovery verification. So it ensures that backups can be successfully used for restoration in case of an attack. If you choose to perform, you can actually leave this this environment up and run your own manual testing as well in the environment, which can be used for really anything that the customer can dream up, that really goes beyond just testing backups. You could set up your own isolated virtual environment for testing applications, changes to applications, patches in your environment. You could even use it as a training for new administrators that you don't quite yet want to give them the the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. You could set up these virtual labs for new administrators and teach them about the applications in a safe environment. Because when you're done with this, you just turn it off and tear it down, and it doesn't affect your production environment at all. The other Data Labs feature would be our secure restore and staged restore features. Um, and these contribute to the overall detection, correction, and recovery from ransomware attacks. With secure restore, organizations can confidently verify the integrity of restored files by automatically scanning them for malware and ransomware before they are reintroduced to the production environment. So, this ensures that any potentially infected files do not compromise the health and safety of the network. Staged restore, on the other hand, enables a controlled and phased approach to recovering from ransomware attacks. So, it allows organizations to gradually restore critical systems in a segmented manner, ensuring that any lingering threats are identified and eradicated before moving to the next stage. So you could restore again into this isolated virtual lab and perform any sort of testing that you wanted to perform before you migrated those into your production environment. So it's a cautious approach that mitigates the risk of reinfection and ensures a comprehensive recovery process that restores systems and data to their pre-attack state efficiently and securely. And then finally, uh, this illustrates our promise of data freedom, which I referred to at the beginning of the presentation. With Veeam, customers no longer need to worry about being tied to a specific infrastructure or endpoint, whether it's restoring data from physical servers, virtual machines, or cloud based platforms. Veeam gives customers the liberty to choose the most suitable recovery destination, enabling them to restore their data wherever they need it most. So, customers with a second data center site, that could even be a colo facility, or if you already have a presence in AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, uh, Veeam can not just back up workloads from any of those locations. We can restore workloads to any of those locations as well. So if you have on-prem workloads that we backed up, say in a VMware environment, and for some reason you want to migrate those to cloud, or you want to, you end up having to migrate those to cloud temporarily, you can restore those workloads into, a data center, a second data center site. Again, that could be a colo facility or a cloud location. And that is all that we had today. I think we have enough time for Q&A. Jess, do we have any questions?
We most certainly do. We've got lots of questions coming in because our audience is awesome and awake and alert even on this Tuesday, Monday. So let's get into some questions here. While we're doing that, I'm just going to point out to everyone out there that we have a poll question on the screen for you. And this poll is asking you, what is the additional information that you would like to get? So as we've kind of dug in today, there's lots more information, and I'm sure this is kind of jogging questions for you, ideas for you, things that you'd want to spend a little more time thinking about. And this is the best way to make sure that you're going to get the follow-ups that you need to carry this conversation forward, whether that conversation is with yourself or with other teammates. So would it be helpful to have some pricing info? Do you want to get some different case studies? Do you want a white paper, or maybe you want to do a more personalized demo? Whatever it is that's going to help you continue this conversation, this is how you want to make your life easy. This is you clicking the easy button. Click on your screen right now and let HP and Veeam know how they can follow up with you. All right, while you're doing that, Parisa and Chris and I are going to take some questions. Are you guys ready for Q&A? Chris, Parisa, you ready to rock?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I knew that you would be. I could tell. All right, let's start with this one here. Does hybrid cloud management provide enough confidence to meet our SLA objectives?
Yeah, so Luis, I saw the that question come in, and I wanted to wait till the end of the webinar to answer that because I knew I was leading up to that last slide where the restore anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when Veeam talks about SLAs in a hybrid cloud environment, it's that's really what we're referring to. That you can back up from any environment. That would be on prem, cloud environments, second data center environment that might even include a colo facility. But we can also restore those anywhere as well. So that's what we're referring to a lot when we talk about meeting SLAs when with our restore anywhere feature. Now, uh, as far as can you back up within a certain window, restore within a certain window? I'm going to say generally yes, but that's going to be a definitely a conversation with a Veeam SE to understand what are your requirements, because really it's just a matter of building out that backup infrastructure to meet the SLAs that you have set.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Chris,
and
anything you
I
want to?
would
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would also like to add with respect to the hybrid cloud. So you may have heard of HPE GreenLake, and that is our hybrid cloud, and it's basically designed to help simplify and transform the hybrid cloud operations. And I think what you meant by hybrid cloud management falls under that operations category. And we have the HPE GreenLake Flex solutions built for Veeam, and that by itself provides the capability to maximize your data and application availability from on-premises to cloud. And that way we are giving you the choice and flexibility to place your data wherever it makes sense. And through that, we obviously deliver the optimal hybrid cloud management when it comes to data protection. So bear in mind that GreenLake Flex solutions built for Veeam are also solutions that you can tap into.
Well, I think this is going to feed in nicely with that because obviously we always get a lot of questions whenever we're talking about cloud about the existing legacy and environments that we've got. And so, on-prem, hybrid, and fully cloud. We've got it all in the audience with us here today. So we did have a question wondering about immutable backups. Question from James: can we still achieve immutable backups with our existing on-prem storage solutions? How about within public cloud if we're looking at Azure, AWS, or Google? What do you think?
Yeah. So again, just going back to an earlier slide where I showed that end-to-end immutability with
Mm-hmm.
HPE and Veeam, um, the the snapshot, the immutable snapshot functionality that we use what HPE already has there. That's not a Veeam feature. That's us building on top of what HPE already has. So I guess to answer that question for immutable snapshots, it would really depend on what you're using for primary storage. For immutable backups to like a hard Linux repository, for example, we can do that on any server that's running Linux. However, the big asterisk I would put next to that statement is uh, we don't do collaborative testing with just anybody that has that happens to build servers. And that's what I would say is the real differentiation between our other, maybe other partners or just some other vendor that may happen to build servers and HPE when it comes to HPE and Veeam together, is that we do have the collaborative testing. Uh, we know what to tell customers, what to expect for performance. So the yes, you can use uh, existing infrastructure. Um, but again, I'm going to heavily encourage you to have the conversation with a VMSE to make sure that you're you're going to get the performance that you're looking for. The other part of your question about Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud, you can accomplish immutable backups to Azure and AWS. I don't know about Google Cloud yet. Last I understood, they did not support immutability, but um, things move quickly, so so I would say I would say again, you may want to double check my answer there to again engage a VMSE. I know that we can achieve immutability to Azure and AWS though.
Perfect. Prisa, anything you wanted to add?
No, I think Chris covered it quite well. The only thing is, we talked about the primary storage and the snapshot integration, but from a backup appliance, if you mean the on-prem storage solution, let's say that's one of you have a backup appliance. If it is something like an HPE store once, in our latest release, we are enabling dual authorization that pretty much marches towards the path of immutable backups. So again, it also depends what backup target you choose
Yep.
for your data protection.
All right. Well, and I'm with you, Chris. As soon as we answer a question, it's going to change immediately. So we're we're answering these in real time. Okay. Well, I'm going to try moving into this question because I actually really love when we get something that kind of asks is bringing this onto the team. So I'm going to make this a bit of a 2-part question. The question that we got from the audience is, what is the argument that I make if I am going to my leadership team and I want to say that this is the right solution that's going to help us with backup and Brendan mentions ransomware. This is the peace of mind solution. So let's get that one answered. I'm curious what your question is or what your answer is for that. But I think this is kind of related. What do you think is the key unique, the thing that stands out the most when you're thinking about HPE Veeam solutions for data backup? And I guess, Chris, maybe I'll start with you because you've been kicking us off, and then Parisa, if you can add in as well.
Of
Sure.
course.
Yeah. So I feel like I have a somewhat unique perspective from having been an HPE customer for so long before I'm kind of moved over into working in alliances work with Veeam. One of the things that I really appreciated about HPE was the support, not just the reliable hardware, which they certainly have that. I didn't really have to call support much, but when I did, my problem or whatever issue I was having was it was answered mostly in the first call, and I always really appreciated that. That was a strong advertisement to my CIO. I would say the same thing about Veeam, that we have great support, great product. I would say that our software is really analogous to the same argument that I would make for HP hardware, is that our software is easy to run. It runs most of the time without issue, but if you do have questions or a problem, Veeam support most of the time, we answer that question or resolve problems in that first call. That would be my main argument to my senior leadership, is that, look, these are two fantastic companies separately. With the two companies together, they have an excellent data protection solution.
Yeah, and I would also add to that there's nothing more powerful to point to customer data and customer testimonials as far as quantifiable benefits, not qualifiable, just qualifiable benefits. And that is, as I showed in one slide, the IDC survey to customers and how the joint HPE and Veeam solutions were able to lower the total cost of ownership. We're able to, improve backups and improve recovery and all of that. So that I think that by itself is really powerful. But apart from that, if you want to dig in a little bit into the technology and the architecture and design and all of that, I would point to the comprehensive end-to-end integration that HPE and Veeam have together. So you can start with your primary storage. You have snapshot integration. So foolproof there. Then you move on to your backup repository. You have integration, joint innovation there. And then moving on, if you want to move your backup data to the cloud, again, there's integration there across the product line and across whatever repository you want. So that again shows the breadth and the fact that the joint solutions can be so powerful in protecting your data and protecting it against cyber attacks.
I love that. And I think both of you have given some great arguments that folks can carry forward. And one of the things that just struck me while you, and actually each of you kind of hit on this, is the connection between simplicity and ease and that kind of affordability line item in your decision making, that not needing extra people in order to manage things, being able to maximize the team that you do have and not putting kind of onerous tasks or software solutions on them. And I think that's a really important point that's easy to forget. It's nice when everyone is happy and healthy and not feeling overwhelmed with their job, but there's also a monetary value to that. There's also, an ROI and that quantifiable line that you can bring to your team when you're needing to make that argument. And you guys gave us some great examples of that today. I appreciate that. And I'm sure lots of folks in our audience did as well. I think we're going to get very close to the end of our time here. I'm going to sneak in just one or two more questions before we wrap up, though. This one's an interesting one here for possibly an existing customer wondering, how do I decide which HPE backup repository I should choose for Veeam Data Platform?
Yeah, so I can take that. As mentioned, we have multiple options for a backup repository for the Veeam Data Platform. So it depends really on your use case. If you want to leverage secondary storage for DevOps, dev test, or similar workloads, if you require fast granular restore and instant recovery, then you might want to choose the HPE Alletra 5000 or 6000. But if you need large amounts of logical capacity, if you require secondary storage to be air-gapped from your primary arrays to prevent unauthorized access, for example, during a ransomware attack, or you need to replicate your large capacities of backup data over WAN and want lowest cost per capacity, then HPE StoreOne is the right platform for you for backup repository. And then finally, if you want simplicity, if you want single infrastructure solution for both your backup processing and storage capacity, if you have different active use of secondary data, you want linear scalability by, if you want to add new infrastructure units, you want to go down the path of Alletra Storage Server 4000 or the HPE Apollo 4200 Gen 10 Plus. So again, it really depends on your use case and what you want to get out of your backup repository. But we have the answer for you.
I love that. Whatever you need, there is a solution.
We have it.
Okay, we got in another question when we were kind of chatting about AWS backup. So maybe we'll dig in just one click further on that one. As far as the backup to AWS, are you able to push just to S3, or is there a way to automate movement?
Yeah, so that's all a function of our scale-up backup repository. That's how I would encourage you to take advantage of that. So say you're on-prem, you're backing up to HPE storage on-prem, you have your scale-up backup repository, moving that data off to AWS S3. We also support Glacier for archiving. So that's how you would take advantage of that, is through a sober repository.
Perfect. You guys have all the answers today. This is great. All right, I'm going to sneak in one more question because I think we're going to have to wrap soon. But Priest, I think this one's for you. How are HPE Alletra Storage Servers 4000 positioned with HPE Apollo 4000? I love all your names, Alletra and Apollo. This is great.
Yeah, that's a good question because it could be a little bit confusing. We have the Alletra 4000, and then we have the Apollo 4000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Alletra 4000, it just basically expands the breadth and depth of the data storage server lineup. The new Alletra 4110 and 4120 will complement the current Apollo 4200 Gen 10. The current Apollo 4200 Gen 10 will be replaced by the Alletra 4120. And if you just want to see, how the models map, the role of each one is that, for example, on the Alletra 4110, it is a performance all NVMe. The 4120 is an accelerated flexible hybrid NVMe. The 4140 is the bulk capacity hybrid NVMe, and then the Apollo 4200 Gen 10 Plus is the ultra dense flexible hybrid NVMe. So each one of them have a specific role in the portfolio lineup, but you can see that for now, we are selling both the Alletra 4000 lineup and the Apollo 4200 Gen 10 Plus.
Awesome. Now, if somebody out there was hearing all of that and potentially feeling like that was a lot of numbers and names all in one and wants to kind of remind themselves of that information later, what do you recommend as a way to kind of learn a little bit more, dig back into what we've talked about today, explore a little further? Where would you kind of get started with that, Parisa?
I would first start with, if you go to the handouts tab on the screen, you can certainly see some of the resources that we have published already. And then stay tuned for, so right now we have a solution brief, we have a video, we have a chalk talk. But then in the spring time frame, we are going to be publishing the t-shirt sizing for the Alletra 4000 and the Apollo 4200, as I mentioned, with predictable performance and all of those details about the configuration in a reference architecture technical paper. So stay tuned for that.
You guys have some really great resources. And I do have to say the Chalk Talk is really fun. I think it's about 4 minutes long. It's just a quick, easy watch. So right now, if you haven't already done this, go over to the handouts tab and open up the handouts in there from HPE and Veeam. Again, the blog post, also a great way to kind of recap what we were just chatting about with Alletra and kind of dig in a little bit further. So make sure you've got that blog post. Make sure you've got those videos open. Go back to those because you're going to want to revisit after we wrap. I think with that, Chris and Parisa, as much as I would love to keep this conversation going because there's clearly lots more to cover here, I think we'll kind of bring it home. I'm wondering if you guys have a final thought for the audience out there. If there was one thing that you'd want them to either take away thinking about or understanding or an action step for themselves, for their organization, what would that be? And Chris, I'll ask you to start, and Parisa, then you can be our grand finale.
Sure.
Well, so I was looking at the poll that you took. I feel like we've answered a lot of this throughout the webinar here. That the data sheet, technical white papers, we are continue to release those. So definitely keep an eye out. But some of the other details here, people asking for pricing, personal demo. You can demo our product on our website. All you have to do is navigate to veeam.com and you can take your own demo of our product. If you'd like a POC in the environment, obviously you just have to engage your Veeam SE. And if you're already a customer, then again, engage your Veeam SE to get an update into everything that we released last year, because there was a lot. Veeam 12 or V12 of the of Veeam Backup Replication came out at the beginning of the year last year. We released a really large update at the end of the year in 2023. So you're an existing customer and you're not caught up on all of the latest advantages of the product, then definitely engage your Veeam SE to get put him to work. Make him tell you about our product.
I love that. You might want to let your team know that you. Expect phone calls. Awesome. Parisa, anything that you'd want to add? Final thoughts, final takeaways for our audience out there?
Well, the final thoughts, I would just point to maybe three key takeaways. One is to remember that HPE and Veeam have been partners over a decade. And so that includes a lot of tight integrations, joint innovations with each other that leads to a very complete end-to-end comprehensive data protection solution. And lastly, to think about the fact that, if you just check out the HPE and Veeam Alliance page, you will see in which areas we are delivering the end-to-end data availability. So it is around, countering cyber attacks or, reasons for using, let's say, HPE Cast by Veeam for your container data protection. What are some of the latest integrations with Veeam Data Platform V12, and so much more. So I would encourage you to also check out the HPE and Veeam Alliance page, in addition to what Chris just mentioned about demos and other assets.
Some really great takeaways, lots to think about. I think you've given the audience, I'm hoping that everyone goes and sits and just kind of let this all sink in for a little bit afterwards, but there's also some great homework assignments for everyone out there, some great follow-ups and ways to keep this conversation going in your team and kind of, hey, within your own head as well, mulling this all over later. Chris and Parisa, I want to thank you both so much for being here with us. I was saying, as we went through, I felt like we were just sitting around a table listening to friends talk about something awesome. So thanks for including us in your table today. This has been a lot of fun. I hope we get to chat again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right, and to everyone out there that clicked on that poll, keep those clicks coming. If you haven't answered yet, make sure you get that answer into Veeam and HPE. That's how you're going to get a follow-up. And again, it's the easy button, right? You just click now and it'll show up in your inbox. You don't even have to do anything. But hey, if you're looking for some more clicking, head on over to the handouts tab, click on those first couple of links there. Make sure you've got the blog, the Chalk Talk, that video, and spend a little time with those after we wrap. I promise those are worth your time. All right, while you're doing all of that, I know that you're saying to yourselves, hey, Jess, it's the end of the webinar, and that means it's time for a prize giveaway, and you would be absolutely correct. It is that time. Now, we will remind you that we will be reviewing all the questions asked after we wrap, so we will follow up with that best question gift card. That's the $50 Amazon gift card once we've closed our webinar today. But our winner of a $250 Amazon gift card today is Tanya Calloway from New Jersey. Tanya Calloway from New Jersey. I hope you're staying nice and warm out east there, Tanya, and congrats on your $250 Amazon gift card. That'll buy you some heated mittens you can use this winter. Congratulations to you. We will get in touch after we wrap up our webinar. And with that, my friends, on behalf of the Actual Tech Media team, I want to once again thank HPE and Veeam for making this webinar possible, especially to our incredible speakers here with us today, Parisa and Chris, who've given us so much to think about and a lot to consider as we're looking at the right platforms, the right data protection strategies for our organization. Definitely a pretty cool conversation today, which of course, as always, brings me around to all of you, because my biggest high five, my biggest gold star always goes to all of you out there in the audience. We had some great questions today. You all took time out of your day to join in this conversation. And I know that sometimes finding the best solutions that are going to match our organizational goals and needs can be a little bit overwhelming. Sometimes we don't want to take the opportunity to dig in, to do the research that it needs, because we feel so overwhelmed by choice or by time crunches, whatever the case may be. But taking that step back and going in a little bit deeper with these solutions in greater detail and figuring out how they might work for us and not only meet our needs, but meet those goals, right? Power up and enhance those opportunities that we have within our organization. And that's what comes out of having that right tool, that right platform, that right solution that is going to empower your team, free up that time and that energy, or just that peace of mind to take those next big steps in your organization. So I hope that that's where you're all feeling today, is kind of in that zone of excitement and maybe a little bit of direction and something that you want to kind of keep rolling on from here. And I hope that your conversations continue from here as always. I can't wait to see you all at a webinar again soon. And until then, have an absolutely beautiful end to your day.